Hey, what's up guys? So in the last video I forgot to do one thing. Actually, I forgot to include a clip at the very end of the video. So yesterday I added this thing called CanEquip, so that whenever the equip button is pressed, it only passes through if the CanEquip is true, and as soon as it does that, it sets it to false, and then resets it to true after 2 seconds. The reason for that was I didn't want, if people were scrolling the middle mouse button too aggressively, I didn't want it to equip weapons like multiple times. I wanted to slow it down. So I did the same thing for the attack. And so for the equip, I put it right after the input action node. For the attack, instead of doing it right after the input action attack node, I did it twice, once after equip number equals 0 and equip number equals 1. So you can see it here, you can see it here. The reason why I did it like that is because equip number 2 doesn't get 1 because it's a gun, and the gun doesn't have any animations that needs to be completed. So quickly, I'm just going to demonstrate how this works. So once I press play, so for the attack, I can press the button multiple times and it'll just attack once. And if I scroll the middle mouse button in a aggressive way, then it equips only once to the sword. And if I press attack with the sword multiple times, it only does one attack. So it only does one attack before I can do the next attack. And then if I scroll the middle mouse button multiple times, it only equips the gun once. And when I press the attack button, nothing happens, which is good. So everything works. So the next thing that I want to work on has to do with the gun aiming. So I'll just play it once more. So if I equip once and equip again, when I'm in the shooting mode, when I move the mouse, it turns left and right, which is really good. But the only thing that doesn't happen is if I just say point up, then she should be pointing up as well. And if I point down, she doesn't point down, she just constantly points straight ahead. So I'm going to show you how you can add a rotation to one of the bones along the spine. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the female warrior blueprint, and I'm going to create two variables. One's going to be called extra rotation, and I'm going to change the variable type to rotator. And I'm going to create one more called extra rotation alpha, and that's going to be a foot. Compile. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the animation blueprint. I'm going to make the exact same variables for this blueprint. So extra rotation is going to be of type rotator, and extra rotation alpha. It's going to be of type float. So in the NMBP event graph, I'm going to pull these out as setters. So select a set X rotation. Do the same for the X rotation alpha. And hook these up in series. Now I'm going to pull these out as getters. So get extra rotation. Oh, sorry, no. Not from here. I'm going to delete that. I have to get it from the Female Warrior blueprint. So if you remember from the last few tutorials, I created this get all actors of class, cast a Female Warrior BP, and then get, and over here the Female Warrior BP is selected from this list. So from here I can access the Female Warrior BP and all the variables, like I got the sword equip and the gun equip. So the same way I'm going to get the extra rotation for the Female Warrior BP. For some reason, okay. I have to get the get, not the set. You have to also get extra rotation alpha. And I want to plug these values into the setters. So these variables on the left here are set by these ones here. So with that done, I'm going to go into the atom graph. And here I'm going to go over to the last part of this the atom graph. I want to stretch this out. So in between the output pose and default slots, I have to get the node okay. I think I have to connect these first, so right click, break this link, and in the graph I'm looking for transform modify bone. Okay, there it is. And when I connect these, it it creates a local to component and does the same thing on this side. So I'm not sure why it's like this, but I need to grab these two variables that I created, getting the values. And I'm plugging the extra rotation alpha into the alpha, and extra rotation into the rotation. And with this selected, with the node selected, got to go into the details panel here. And first, I need to select the bone to modify. So this is the bone that's going to rotate with the mouse up and down movement. I think spine 1 is usually good. It's the one right above the spine base. And I think these are good for now. I can always come back to these and change some of these if I if something doesn't work. So I think everything's pretty much set up in the NMBP. So I'm just going to go ahead and compile. Oh, what's wrong here? Something did not work. Oh, right, sorry. I have to select what's going to be okay, so over here I selected this this spine one. That's the bone that's going to be rotated. And then I need to select under rotations. I'm going to try add to existing for now. And leave it at component space and see what that does. But besides that, everything's done in the NMBP. And now I need to go into the Female Warrior blueprint. And I'm going to use the regular event graph. I'm going to use the event tick. So event tick is the one that fires every tick of the game. This is probably one of the nodes that's used the most. So out of that, I'm going to create a sequence because there's going to be multiple things that are going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to briefly go into the basic inputs, and what I'm going to do right next to this equip is I'm going to go down here and create a custom event. Add custom event. And I'm going to call it extra rotation. Oh, I can't use that. So, call it add. Call it rotation while aiming. Okay. So in order for this to fire, I'm going to call it up at in the event. Rotation while aiming. So like I said in previous videos, anything that's red is usually on the left, and it's the one that is sort of like the instigator. It's the one that fires the, I guess, electrical pulses, if you want to look at it that way. But for these custom events, something has to trigger it. So in this case, it's going to be the event tick, because it's ticking every tick of the game, and every tick is just constantly firing through here. And I guess you can say, like, metaphorically, that it's wirelessly communicating with this one, and that pulse is constantly coming out this way. So what I need to do is I need to pull out. I want to create a condition, a branch, and I want to say if can equip is true. I want to start with a false because it's the easiest to do. So I want to get a sequence. And I'm going to set the value of the extra rotation as well as the extra rotation alpha. And I just leave it as it is because they're all 0. All the rotations are 0. So these are extra rotations that I'm adding to the rotation of the spine mount. Okay, so I've actually made a mistake here. It's actually not can equip. I don't know why I put that there. What I actually need is I need to get the equip number when equip number equals 2. So if equip number equals 2, that's when the gun is equipped, and it's only when the gun is equipped should the extra bone rotation happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, paste this. So in the event that this is false, then it's going to be 0, all these values. And if it's true, the rotation alpha is set to 1. And to get control rotation, which is the mouse rotation. And I'm going to right click on the return value. I'm going to click split struct pin. I'm going to do the same thing for this here. And these don't match up exactly, and I think when I tried it myself, I believe it was the Y that was connected to the X. I actually think that's correct. The one thing I have to do is I need to pull out and I need to press Shift 8, which is the star, to get the multiply node, and I need to multiply by -1. Otherwise it's going to, when I'm looking up, the character is going to rotate down, and when I look down, the character is going to rotate up, so I want to flip that. So I believe it's Y to the X. So if I go in and try, I press play. So first, equip the sword. And then equip the gun. So now, if I look down, she's going to point down. She's rotating down. And if I look up, she's looking up. And so let's just say I'm looking down. If I press the equip button again, which is the middle mouse button, she should snap back to neutral position, which is perfect. Okay, so now that's working. The next thing I want to do, first I want to select everything, press C. I'm going to name this extra rotation. And so the next thing I want to do is for the attack, we have obviously the punching and the kicking. When equip is 0, when equip is 1, then we want the sword attacks. When equip is set to 2, we need to work on the shooting. So what I'm going to do for this is, let's make this a little bit bigger. I want to create a thing called a line trace. So a line trace is basically almost like a laser, and it goes straight out from a specified point and sees if that so-called laser detects something, and whatever it detects, if you right click on this blue out hit node on the right, and click split struct pin, it gathers a whole bunch of information like what actor it hit, the out hit location, the direction of the normal of the point that was hit. It generates a whole bunch of useful information. For now, I need to set it up so that it starts from the camera and shoots straight forward from the center of the camera, which is basically the middle of the screen. So what I'm going to do is grab the camera, drag the camera onto graph, and I want to get world location. So every time I click the fire button when the gun is equipped, it's going to get the world location, and it's going to get the forward vector. So the start location is going to be the world location of the camera. So that's the starting point. The end of it is going to be the world location plus, get the plus node. So what I want to do is get the forward vector. When you get a forward vector, it only spits out a forward vector value of 1. So you usually need to multiply it to make it useful for anything. So I'm going to multiply. I'm going to right click here and change it to a float. And I want to give it a value of 10,000, which is pretty good. And I'm going to plug that into here. So what this is saying, so if I plug this into the end, it says the starting point is the point of the camera, and the end point is forward from the camera by, we specify 10,000 units, but it's this forward vector, because we're adding it, it's from the, starting from the get world location. Okay, so one important thing that I almost forgot is I forgot to set the trace channel. But right now, if I click on this drop-down menu, it only has visibility and camera. So I need to go create some custom trace channels. So what I do is go to project settings. If it's not already open, you just go into edit and select project settings. And in the search field, just look for, just type in trace. And then at the top, it says trace channels, and all you have to do is create new trace channel, give it a name, and this one's going to be called, let's call it enemy, and by default it's block. It's got 3 options: ignore, overlap, or block. I'm going to leave it at block, accept. So when that's done, I can exit project settings, and if I compile my, so some things don't show up until you compile. So if something's not working or something's not showing up, it means you haven't compiled. So if I go now, the enemy shows up. So any enemy character that I create, I have to label it as enemy. Otherwise, it's going to ignore it. If it's like a chair or a door or a vehicle, it's not going to recognize it. It only recognizes objects that are labeled as enemy. So that's what this drop-down menu is. So now the gun is pretty much set up. There's a couple other things that we need to do. One thing that I want to do before I finish up with the gun is I want to create an enemy blueprint. But before I do that, I'm going to import the model and some animations. The same way that I imported models and animations for the player character, I'm going to go into the Android folder, which is what my enemy character is. It's actually an Android sort of design. In the models, I'm going to press import. And under FBX, I've got Android default pose. Make sure skeletal mesh is selected, and this has no animations. So I'm going to uncheck import animations and press import, and that's going to take a minute. Okay, so I've actually gone ahead and also imported the animations as well. So the model was the default pose was imported into the models folder. In the animations folder, I've got 3 animations. I've got the idle animation, the running animation, and walking animation. So that's good for now. And I'm going to go into the blueprints folder, and I'm going to create a blueprint. And unlike the player character, so the pawn and character, like these two options, they're possessable, meaning that the player can control them. This is an enemy character, so the player's not going to possess it, so I'm just going to create an actor, which is like the most basic type. And I'm going to name it Android _ EP. I'm going to double click to open it. Dock it up here. And I'm going to add a skeletal mesh. And I'm going to specify the skeletal mesh as Android guard default pose. I'm also going to add capsule collision. And I'm going to try and match. First of all, I need to make sure that's not parented to the skeletal mesh. So the female warrior, the capsule component, the half height is 88 and radius is 34. Let me do the same thing for this one, 88 and 34. And in this one, the Y is forward. I think I'm going to rotate this. Maybe not, I'll just leave it to what it was. I'm going to go into front view. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom of the capsule. Just going to scale it down. So this should be the same height as the player character. Okay, so I think everything looks pretty good for now. I'm going to, the one thing, a few moments ago I created the shoot trace, so whenever you fire the gun, it looks for this enemy trace channel, so I need to specify that in the enemy. So I think you do it so I think you select the skeletal mesh. Oh yeah, then you go to collision, and right here says no collision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on custom. And what that does, it shows you all the different possibilities. So right now enemy is block, which is exactly what we want. So it's blocking the enemy like the shoe trace. So that looks pretty good. Another thing that I'm going to do is in the event, I'm going to pull out and create a sequence. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a do once node. And after the do once node, I'm going to play animation from the skeletal mesh. So I'm going to play the Android Guard idle animation, which is only 1 second long, and I'm going to do it once. So remember the event tick, it fires constantly, like every tick of the game. So I'm just going to do it once, and then out here, I'm going to create a delay, which is wrong one. Create a delay. Select this one. And because the animation is 1 second long, I'm going to create the delay 1 second before I reset. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just creating a loop of this animation. So at first it just plays it once, but every 1 second it plays it once again. So it's just the idle animation as well as the walk and run animations, they need to be looped. So I think that should be good. So what I'm going to do now is since the player start is right here, you can see the player start in the middle. I'm going to grab the Android BP and I'm just going to drag and drop it. And I need to bring it up. So if I go ahead and play it, as you can see, if I go closer, the hands are no longer out on this out to the sides. It's just in the regular. Oh, this computer's so laggy. If you look at it carefully, it's got a slight movement. It's the idle animation, just sort of standing there, kind of like the same way that the players are sort of like idling. So that's good. So the next step is to make something happen when I shoot the enemy. Right now, if I shoot the enemy, it's going to do nothing. Okay, so my computer just crashed on me, and for some reason I lost my Android BP. It's still here. It's visible in the content browser, but I can't open it up, so I have to create another one with a different name. And also my test level that I created with the soil ground, that disappeared too for some reason. So I'm just going to use this, for now I'm just going to use this default map. So the thing that I wanted to do is I wanted this enemy character to disappear whenever I shoot. So before I do that, I need to create, I need to go into Female Warrior, the blueprints. I want to right click and under blueprint, I want to create a blueprint interface. And this is going to be called Female Warrior underscore, I'm going to call it deal damage. I'll call interface. Okay, so basically what an interface is, so we have the Android blueprint and the female blueprint, and in order for these two to interact, it has to have an interface. So this is the thing that communicates between the two blueprints. So I'm just going to open that up. So right away it asks for the name of a new function. So I'm going to rename this to deal damage. So this is the damage that's being dealt by the player. Down here there isn't any input, so I'm going to add an input. I'm going to call it damage amount. So every time, just say the character kicks or punches, it's going to deal this amount. It's going to be a float, and I'm going to make the amount 1. I'm going to compile that, and I'm going to go into, so between the player character, the female warrior, and the android, it's usually, in this case, it's the android where I need to go into class settings, and I need to specify the female warrior. So you can think of it as like the female character being the giver and the android character being the receiver. So it's the receiver that needs this interface specified. So with that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'll look for deal damage, a deal damage message. So the target is the out hit actor. And back here, because this is the receiver, if I type in the deal damage, it's going to give me, unlike the female warrior, because this is the receiver, it's going to give me an event, which is a red node, because it's specifying the deal damage. Right now we don't need the deal damage amount. I'm just going to keep it really simple, and I'm just going to put a destroy actor. So as soon as it detects the line trace, as soon as it detects this, it's simply going to destroy. Okay, so now I need to go and make sure this actually works. So I'm going to go into, I want to hit play. And I'm going to scroll the middle mouse until I get the gun. And now I didn't put a reticle in, so I don't know where the center is, so I have to sort of guess where the center of the screen is, because the center of the camera goes straight forward from the center of the screen. So if it's there, and I click the button, then it disappears. So it's working. So obviously there's other things I could be adding, like the muzzle flash, and like I can do the death animation where the android falls before it dies or something, or I can do a dissolve or an explosion or whatever it is. But for now, this is just to make sure that the gun is operational. Okay, I'm going to create a reticle